Good afternoon, Jefferson Spartans. My name is Kyle Carter, and I'm the principal at Jefferson Elementary School. I've worked in this building for 15 years, and during that time, got to tell you, I'd never imagined that we would be encountering a global pandemic. What I can tell you is I've met some amazing educators in these 15 years, and I've never met a group of individuals that are willing to do whatever it takes in the name of your children. We are family. And your children are a large part of that family. This year will present some truly unique challenges. It's the mission of Warsaw Community Schools to inspire and equip all students to continuously acquire and apply knowledge and skills while pursuing their dreams and enriching the lives of others. We, as the teachers and educators of Jefferson Elementary School, we've worked hard to build resilience and to help your students persevere through challenges. Whether that's a math problem, or in this case, some of the precautions that we're going to have to take this year to keep everyone safe. We can and we will have a successful school year. We are working hard to create a safe, a structured, a challenging, and a fun learning environment. We miss your children, and we can't wait to have them back in the school this year. The reality is, to do this, there are many precautions we must take. Thank you in advance for your patience, your flexibility, and your positive attitudes. We can do this if we work together. I want to take some time today and I want to walk through the many changes and precautions we're taking this year to have a safe, successful school year. First, we want to talk about our school times this year. Last spring, Warsaw Community Schools announced changes to the elementary, middle, and high school start and end times. So let's go over those for a minute. School begins this year at 9:10. That means breakfast will begin at 8:40 this year. We would ask that students not arrive at the building before 8:40. If you're not eating breakfast, we would ask that students not arrive at the building before 8:55. And that allows us to social distance, keep the hallways moving quickly and efficiently, and allows us to get started at 9:10 every day. Late Start Thursday is moved. This year, Late Start Thursday will take place on Mondays. That means breakfast will begin at 9:30. Students not eating breakfast can begin to arrive at 9:45, so the school day can begin at 10 o'clock. Dismissal is 3:50. 5 days a week. Once a month, Late Start Monday will become an e-learning Monday. Please monitor social media and the Warsaw Community Schools website as we specify those days specifically. All right, one of the first things we want to talk about is student arrival if you are a parent drop-off student. So you are going to enter Maple Street. Maple Street is just down from the school main entrance, and it is right off of Kings Highway. You're going to loop around the back of the building, and you're going to pull in on the inside lane of this long drive. We're only using the inside lane, the lane closest to the building, to keep students safe. As you pull up, students are going to exit the passenger door. They're going to open their own doors as they step out of the car. So they need to know how to unbuckle themselves. Good morning, boys. How are you? Good. Great. Have a great day. So some things to remember as you are arriving each morning. Parents, we ask you not have cell phones in your hands. Devices should be off. Devices should be hands-free. We want to make sure students are safe. We ask you to pull as far forward to the teacher here that will be standing here to greet you each morning. That will allow multiple cars to be able to pull into our driveway as quickly as possible. We'd also ask that goodbyes are said before you pull up. That way we can keep the line moving as quickly as possible. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next area. Okay, so as parent drop-off students enter the building, they have two directions they can go. If you are in grades K, 3, 4, 5, or 6, you are going to turn right. If you are grades 1 or 2 and you are not eating breakfast, you are going to turn left. All students are heading directly to classrooms right away. We are not waiting in the lobby at all this year. So if you are eating breakfast, you are going to turn right. You are going to head straight to the cafeteria. You're going to grab your breakfast, and you are going to go directly to your classrooms. Morning, boys. How are you?
Good.
All right, great. Have a nice day. Okay, let's talk about walkers and what that procedure looks like as walkers enter our building this year. If you are walking to school, you are going to enter the main entrance to the building, which is right behind me. You're going to come through all of these doors, and you're going to walk forward, and then you have a choice in your hallway. So just like with parent pickup, we're looking at the same directions here. If you are a kindergarten, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th grader, you are going to turn left. That's the path, that's the direction you're going to go. If you are a 1st or 2nd grader, you are going to turn right as you encounter this intersection. If you are eating breakfast, any student that is eating breakfast, you're going to turn left, you're going to go directly down to the cafeteria, grab your breakfast, and you are going to head to class. Again, times work the same way. If you are eating breakfast, we really would not want to see you in the building before 8:40. That is our breakfast start time. If you are not eating breakfast, we would ask you to arrive around 8:55 each morning. We have a number of students who ride the bus to the school each morning. Our buses should be arriving each morning right around the 8:40 mark. All students will hop off the bus as they arrive to school. We're going to dismiss buses individually this year. It used to be just everybody gets off as the buses arrive. Buses will dismiss individually, and we're going to ask students walk in the building single file. In fact, whether we are a bus rider, whether we are a parent drop-off rider, whether we are a walker, we're going to ask that students walk single file in the hallway this year as they are entering the building and as they move towards breakfast, as they move towards their classrooms. So as buzzers enter the building, they've got a couple of choices. If they are not eating breakfast, all of the students are going to turn to their right and head down the hallway. If you are in grades 3, 4, 5, and 6, we ask that you use the first stairwell to go upstairs so that we don't congest the 1st and 2nd grade hallway. All 1st and 2nd graders, you're going to walk straight down to your classrooms. Again, boys and girls, moms and dads, we're looking for single file lines. We want to make sure that we are limiting the contact, the exposure. We believe single file lines are going to help us the best. Single file lines in the right side of the hallway. If you are eating breakfast, you're going to head down to your left, and you are going to walk all the way down to the cafeteria to collect your breakfast and head to classrooms. Kindergarten students are also going to turn left, and they're going to head down to their classrooms down the long hallway. All right, we are planning to eat lunch in the cafeteria this year. We're going to have a staggered schedule that allows us to spread students out so that they have space while they eat. Students coming into the cafeteria will have 2 options if they're planning to eat school lunch. Again, if they come into the cafeteria, they're going to enter these doors. The service line will be serving a hot option and a cold option. They will pick up their lunch, and then they will move to an area in the cafeteria designated by class. All right, so as students enter the cafeteria, as they've grabbed their lunch, they're going to go ahead and be seated. We have arranged the cafeteria with benches that are in straight lines. Each row of benches represents one of our classes. So as students sit down, they will have a seating chart. That seating chart will be very similar to what they have in their classroom. So the same students are potted together and spending time together as they move throughout the building. So as they sit down, they are 3 feet apart. The mask mandate states that when students are eating, they may take down their masks, and that will allow them to eat. Each row of benches will seat about 20 to 25 students, which allow them to successfully social distance and eat their lunches. From bench to bench, or rows of benches, there's 6 feet separation. So the next class over is at least 6 feet away. All right, so After students are finished eating, they are going to come outside for recess. We still have some plans on how we can distance students a little bit on the playground, but the beauty of the playground is it's a nice open space where students are going to naturally be distant as well. One change that we're going to look at is that students are out here, there still will be overlapping grade levels. However, we're going to designate zones or areas that each grade level can play in each day. So it's possible that as boys and girls come out here, they may only be allowed to play in this area of the playground today, but we will keep that on a rotation, and each day those rotations will change. The governor mandate also puts an exemption in that masks do not need to be worn if students are participating in rigorous physical activity. So while they're out here on the playground running around playing, that is rigorous physical activity. On the playground, we also are going to limit contact and touch. So games of tag and other games that require us to put our hands on each other will not be allowed this year while we're out at recess. All right, one other piece on the playground that we're going to do often to make sure students are distancing properly. You'll notice the boys back here are close together. The guidelines that we have for us state that you can be close together at points in the day. You just can't be closer than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. So periodically on the playground, maybe every 10, 11, 12 minutes, teachers are going to blow the whistle. All right, boys, stop, spread out, show me airplane arms. Spread out, show me airplane arms. With airplane arms, if we put our arms up like this, that is and gives us about 6 feet of distance. So there are going to be times on the playground where we ask all students to stop what they're doing, do airplane arms, so we can ensure that no child on the playground is closer than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. All right, so let's take a few minutes to talk about masks and instructional spaces. So the mask mandate from the governor has been a hot topic and something that's been discussed a lot over the last few weeks. And currently, in the state of Indiana, all students in grades 3 through 12 are required to wear masks in buildings, out in public, and that includes schools. And there are some exemptions to that mask requirement. Jefferson Elementary School, we are trying to honor a lot of the mask requirements at all grade levels for consistency's sake. There is a little bit more flexibility in grades K through 2, but we're really trying to be similar in all grade levels. So as we're in a classroom, you may notice that the desks look a little bit differently than what you may have seen in the school last year. Each of these desks are, if we were to measure student to student, front to back, left to right, they are at least 3 feet apart. And we're doing that intentionally because it's part of the governor's mask mandate that if desks are forward facing and students are at least 3 feet apart, they may be able to take off their masks. So in classrooms, we have been really specific and really purposeful to spread out our desks so that when students are seated at their desk, they have the ability to take off their masks and work without the masks. That means, moms, dads, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of the school day, students are not going to have to wear those masks because they're going to be in their classrooms, they're going to be in and out of their desks, there are going to be times where those masks are not going to be on faces. There will be times in the classroom, boys, go ahead and put back your masks, where they may have to put their masks on. So for example, they go back to the carpet for a read aloud, they're probably going to have to put on their masks for a few minutes. If they go over to a conferencing table and a guided reading table, they're going to be closer than 3 feet. So they're going to put those masks back on during those times and those instructional times in the classroom. Again, those are minimal times. Those aren't going to be all day long, but there will be times in the classroom where they will have to wear masks. Anytime we're outside of the classroom, students are going to be wearing masks. So if we're walking up and down the hallways, when we come to school, when we leave school, when we are walking to the cafeteria, if students exit this classroom, they're going to most likely be wearing masks as they're walking up and down the hallway. And as we talk about masks, Every child should have masks coming into this building. We have several that we can give you right out of the gate. Our PTO and through generous donations have at least 2 masks for every child available as they enter the school at the beginning of the school year. We do ask to help keep masks sanitary, that they are cleaned and they are washed on a weekly basis. Students should have more than 1 mask. They shouldn't probably be coming to school in the same mask they wore the prior day. So mask etiquette is going to be that big thing as we walk through the school year. And it does not have to be something that limits learning. It does not have to be something that's distracting to learning. It's just going to become a part of learning. So just want to reinforce that while students are seated in these desks that are 3 feet apart, per the governor's mandate, they can pull down their masks. The other 2 times per the governor's mandate where we can pull down masks safely and meet the law would be if students are eating, so that's in the cafeteria, and that will be if they're participating in physical activity, rigorous physical activity. So that's going to be when they're at PE, that's going to be when they are outside at recess. That's really, as we talk about classrooms, as we talk about masks, that's going to be a big change to this school year. All right, so now that we've talked about a lot of the changes taking place during the school day, let's talk about what things are going to look like at the end of the school day. So we're going to use a lot of the same spots, a lot of the same locations for our various dismissal procedures that we've always done. It's just going to look a little bit different. So let's talk about walkers. All right, we're going to dismiss walkers about 3:38, or sorry, the new exit times about 3:48. Because our new dismissal time this year is 3:50. So at 3:48, we're going to get on the intercom. We're going to ask walkers to be dismissed, and they are going to prepare to exit the building. So one thing that's important, upstairs, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, you're going to go down the long hallway, and you are going to go downstairs by the 3rd and 4th grade classrooms. So everybody from a dismissal standpoint, they're going to use the 3rd and 4th grade stairwell to exit the upstairs of the building. So walkers are going to exit the building. They're going to exit the main entrance just like they used to come in the building in the morning. So when we call you, you're going to walk out, you're going to immediately exit the building. The only time you may hang around for a few extra seconds would be if you've got a brother or sister that you're waiting on. If you're waiting on brother and sister, you can stay right here in the lobby area next to the office until brother and sister arrive. But once you have all of your brothers and sisters, we want you to exit the building as quickly as possible. We really don't want students to wait around in the building for an extra amount of time. Next, let's talk about bussers. Bussers are going to remain in their classroom until buses arrive and buses are called. So when our buses arrive, we are going to call buses individually. So we're going to call one bus. Students are going to exit that classroom. They're going to walk to the gym lobby doors and they're going to exit door 15 just like they used to come in the building in the morning. One bus at a time. All right? Parent pickup. You see the big long hallway behind me? That is what we're going to continue to use for parent pickup this year. So when dismissal takes place, students are going to line up against the walls in parent pickup. We're going to ask brothers and sisters to sit together. So if you are an older sibling, we want you to sit with your younger sibling. And we're going to sit in order. So kindergartners are going to be closest to the exit doors all the way down here at the end of this long hallway. And then older brothers and sisters are going to sit next to them. We are going to spread out in this hallway. We're probably going to use most of it so that we can maintain distance for everyone and keep everyone spread apart to the recommendations and to the guidelines. So teachers are going to have walkie-talkies and radios in this hallway, and boys and girls are going to be listening for their name to be called. Moms and dads are going to be out on Maple Street. We're going to use the same lines that we used to drop off students in the building. They're going to have car tags on the front of their cars so that our teachers can radio in, and then boys and girls can exit the end hallway and hop in their cars. One reminder that we want to remind everyone of as we are dismissing, just as we're arriving, this is the hallway. so masks should be on our faces. We are outside of the classrooms. We want to make sure we have our masks on and that we are walking single file on the right-hand side of the hallway. Boys and girls, that's going to be really important this year, that at all times we are walking single file down the right-hand side of the hallway. Okay, that brings us outside for parent pickup. So remember, students are sitting in the hallway waiting for the teacher to radio in to have them come out. Every family should have a car tag. On the car tag, there are certain expectations that we remind parents of. First of all, we want to pull as far forward as we possibly can in the pickup line. You should not have cell phones going at all. Cell phones should be away, cell phones should be off. We want you really focusing on just making sure we're following procedures and everyone is okay. All right, we want to keep this as safe as possible. So we ask again and again and again, please, cell phones off and cell phones away in the parent pickup line. Again, we want you to pull forward as far as we can before we load a child. We want you to avoid blocking driveways on Maple Street. We're only going to load on the passenger side of vehicles. So hear that one again. Moms and dads, passenger sides only. We use 2 lanes for parent pickup. We cannot have boys and girls loading on the driver's side. It creates an unsafe situation. There's absolutely no switching lanes, so we use 2 lanes for parent pickup. If you are on the inside lane, the lane closest to the building, we ask you to turn right. You should use the inside lane if you are exiting and turning right on Kings Highway. You would use the outside lane if you are exiting and turning left on Kings Highway. We ask moms and dads to please stay in vehicles at all times. Again, it's an unsafe situation if we have individuals hopping out of vehicles. And then boys and girls should be able to enter their vehicles, should be able to buckle themselves. Those are all things that we would ask you to continue practicing and have ready to go for the school year. Again, it's a safety situation. We want to be able to load quickly, open and close our doors, buckle our seat belts, and get your cars out of here successfully in a timely manner. So this year we are expecting more parent pickup traffic, and one thing that the Winona Lake Police Department has asked us to remind you is that we should not be sitting on Kings Highway waiting to turn into Maple Street. So if Maple Street is full, Winona Lake Police Department is asking you to pull around and sit on Publishers. That is between the Gordon Rec Center and the Winona Lake Grace Brethren Church. So begin creating an overflow line on Publishers, and as Maple Street opens up, you may pull into Maple Street. So please help us with that. Winona Lake Police Department will be here and be present to help remind you of that. We will not sit on Kings Highway waiting to get into Maple Street this year. So we've got a car that is pulled up. Remember, car tags should be posted and clear on the visor of your car so that our teachers can radio in for your child. And here we go. We've got some children right here that are coming to load right now. So children should not step forward and come near cars unless an adult is with them, especially if we are changing lanes. So please remember your boys and girls, please remind your boys and girls that they must have an adult with them before they walk to a car. They're not just going to walk to a car themselves. So we'll go ahead and open the door. We'll let them get in for the evening. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. And then once the cars are loaded, we ask that you pull forward and pull onto Kings Highway. Thanks so much for following our parent pickup guidelines. All right, so that wraps up our walking the building and some of the changes and protocols that I can show you by walking around the building. Some other things that we wanted to share and update you on would be staff changes for this year. We have some teachers in the building that are in new roles. So we have Stacy Smith, who shifted from a kindergarten position here in the building to 3rd grade. We have Jessica Lukenbill, who was a 5th grade teacher last year and is now a 1st grade teacher. Brooke Friedberg was a special education teacher last year. She will now be an English language learner teacher. And then we've got some new faces to the Jefferson Elementary staff. Lena Wynn is an EL teacher. She's previously worked at Harrison Elementary and Eisenhower Elementary, and she is shifting over to Jefferson this year. We have Liz Cohn. Liz is joining us as a second grade teacher at Jefferson. We have Monica Wayne, who will be an interventionist that will work at Jefferson and Claypool Elementary this year. We have a new school nurse this year. Her name is Xochitl Cervantes. She's going to go by Nurse Cervantes for all of the boys and girls. And we have a brand new head custodian this year. His name is J.R. Utter, and he is going to help us with keeping the building clean and sanitary and safe for students this year. Some other things that we want to talk about. Drinking fountains will not be accessible this year, so we are asking that all students bring a water bottle filled to school every day, and that'll allow them to have drinks throughout the day. We'll have limited capacities to refill everything throughout the school or throughout the day, but we would ask that those water bottles come to school every day. It does not have to be anything fancy. Please don't go out to the store and buy a $20 water bottle. It can be very basic, very simple, but we would ask that it come to school filled each day. We will have water bottles here in the building for students that do not have access or do not have a water bottle when they come to school. Masks. As I mentioned in the classroom, masks are going to be a part of what we do every single day. So please make sure your child comes to school with a clean mask every day. We'll have a couple that we can give every student from the start in the school year. Please help us by cleaning those masks, washing those masks throughout the week, over the weekend, so that we can make sure they are clean and sanitary for all students. Visitors. It's a change that is going to be different and one that's going to take a little getting used to, but we are not allowing visitors in the building at the start of the school year, and that includes on the first day of school. We're asking parents to drop off their children, and we're asking you to trust us to get them to where they need to go. We're going to have every adult on hand to make sure everybody walking into this building knows exactly where they need to go. I know it may be disappointing that we can't allow visitors in the building this year, and believe me, I'm disappointed to say it. However, we want to make sure that we are keeping students safe to the best of our abilities, and part of doing that is eliminating the number of individuals in our building. Now, that being said, if you really want to be in the building and you really want to see your children or work with other children, we do have positions available, and I am more than willing to hire you for any of those positions. So, we have paraprofessional positions that are available, and we have substitute teaching positions that are available. And if you're interested in any of those, that is a way that we can allow you to still be in the building and a part of what takes place at Jefferson Elementary School, and allow you to join the Jefferson Elementary School staff. You can find information on how to apply for those positions on the Warsaw Community School website. We're going to have a drop-off station in our lobby. You'll be able to come into the school, drop off that item onto a table in our lobby, and we will get it to your child. Just please make sure that when you come in, you label that clearly where that item is supposed to go. If you need to pick up your child throughout the day, it'll be a similar situation. We'll ask you to call into the school, let us know that you're coming, and let us know that you're here. We will buzz you into the school, and we will get your child signed out and out to you in the lobby. Snacks are going to be a change for this school year. There will still be some circumstances and teachers that are looking for classroom snacks throughout the school year. And they may reach out to you for help with that. But snacks that come into the building should be pre-packaged and individually wrapped. And please take the teacher lead on that. They'll let you know if they need snacks or what kinds of snacks they need. And we appreciate any help you can do to help that teacher provide snacks for students. That tends to be something that is done often in our primary grade levels. Going along with snacks, we are going to eliminate birthday treats for this year. And I know that's a really important aspect that students have always been able to do in the building, is to celebrate their birthday by walking around the building and passing out those treats. We just want to be careful with what we're bringing into our building on a daily basis and limiting those things as much as possible and limiting students walking out in the hallways and around the building. So we will not have birthday treats this year. Family groups will also be paused as we begin the school year. That's hopefully something we can revisit as we move throughout the year. So there is no need to send the $7 for a family group shirt at the beginning of the school year. Going along with some other things that we will not be doing out at the beginning of the school year, there will not be assembly programs. That would require us to go into the gym, and it would be very difficult to social distance in the gym. We also will not have field trips during the first semester of the school year. There may be some times where we go outside and we take learning outside just to allow us to spread out, pull down those masks. We still are probably going to go down to Cherry Creek and do some water sampling and water testing. Those are outside, those are spreading out. Those don't require us to take a bus, but we will not be traveling to Fort Wayne to the zoo. Extended trips like that are paused temporarily until we can revisit that later in the school year. Rosters. Rosters should be available and visible in PowerSchool now. So if you're curious who your child's teacher is, log into PowerSchool and you can see that information. If you don't have your PowerSchool login information, and this is the same login information that you use to register your child for school, so the same username, the same password, but for some reason, if you do not have access, call the school on Monday and we will be able to get you that information so you can log in and see your child's teacher. If for some reason you can't figure that out before the start of the school year, we will get your child to the right classroom once they arrive to school on the first day. One request that I have, those rosters are final. Please don't reach out to the school asking for your child to be switched or for classes to be changed. We cannot accommodate that at this point. Rosters are final. And really with that, I believe that's all of the information that we have for you today to talk about our reopening plans and what the start of the school year is going to look like. I hope you found this video helpful and the information useful. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call the school office, to email me, and we will do our best to answer and reassure and to help you see that the start of our school year is going to be exciting. It's going to be different, but it is going to be safe, and we are going to start this year off in a positive way and get things back to normal for our students. So thank you for trusting us. We are excited to begin the new school year, and I hope everybody has a great afternoon and evening.